Hi, fellow matters. It's Jamaze. We are going to spend today's video log talking about probably the second most asked question, which has to do with my skin removal and my teeth. And so those I'm considering like doctor's visits, basically. So Dr. Bottolato is based out of Arizona in Scottsdale. He is and he works on all the seasons of Extreme Makeover. And if you saw David and Becca's episode, David got like the most incredible new set of veneers. Meredith got veneers. So he did some phenomenal work on all of us. And so for me, I was able to get my teeth whitened with the Glow system, which actually has like an iPod attachment to it. It's not actually an iPod, it just looks like one. And it helps like the blue light therapy that goes on to help your teeth. So the cool thing is I still have the Glow system. And you just buy the gel that goes with it, and you can do it, every 6 months or so to keep your teeth nice and white. So that was exciting. Dr. Bottolato also got me Invisalign. I don't know why that wasn't put in my episode, but down here, and it's really hard to see now because I worn my Invisalign fairly religiously. I just talked with my finger in my mouth. That's gross. But down here, I had a lot of big spaces, especially in between these guys and these guys. So Dr. B got me a 5-week Invisalign set, and it brought all my teeth back together and gave me this ginormous smile, which somebody said reminded them of Andy from Can You Stay for Dinner? And I was like, do you know how big of a compliment that is? Like, I'm obsessed with her. Obsessed. If you haven't been to Can You Stay for Dinner, I definitely recommend going to her website. She's got some phenomenal weight loss tips, recipes. She just happens to be a UMass Amherst grad. She might have been a communication major. And we might have met one time in real life, but that's besides the point. So I would definitely recommend Dr. Bottolato. And I told him I'm going back because the other thing he did that you can't really see, I don't think, was he filled some of my fillings. I have like some of the jankiest teeth in the world, and he went and did this like incredible filling that was cracked, and he's just a pretty awesome guy. So, and his entire staff is pretty awesome too. So then we're going to talk about Dr. Stoker, who did my abdominoplasty and my pubic lift. Did I just say that on camera? I did. But that's what happened. Hold on. Heidi Powell is texting me. Story of my life. Oh, whatever. Hey, what's up, Heidi? Love that woman. So somebody asked me if he had done like I didn't even know what it was. I had to look it up. And there is the type of abdominoplasty that like goes all the way around the back. I did not have that. Mine ends like on my hips, basically. So I had an abdominoplasty, which removed about 10 feet of skin, and a pubic lift, which pulled up my nether regions to the location that they belonged in. I'm going to be single forever. That's pretty awesome. The recovery for it, I think, was a full, almost 2.5 weeks out in California. So we went to a hotel after for recovery, and then we had this amazing production crew that stayed with us, Alexis and Melissa, really? Alexis and Missy, who just took care of us, took us to grocery shopping, made sure that we could like get out of bed and go to the bathroom. And my Auntie B was there, and she helped too. She's definitely a nurse, and I'm glad that she was, because you have to like empty out your drainage tubes, and they're full of fluid, and it's really gross. So it was definitely not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought I would be like out for months, and it really was just like a couple weeks that were pretty bad. And then but I was always walking. I was up and walking just slowly. And then I got a very common sort of incision infection that was a little pussy and gross. And so the Dr. Stoker made house calls, and everything was fine within 24 hours of starting antibiotic. So I was CrossFitting in like 4 weeks. Modified. Thank you very much. Jolie and Ken, my trainers at home, were like, yeah. I tried to do sit-ups with like band to pull up, and it was interesting. But I made it back to CrossFit, and I'm back full-time now. The full recovery, to be like fully recovered from an abdominoplasty, is about a year. So I still have parts of my stomach that are frozen, and it's funny because one of the parts that's still like pretty numb is my belly button area. So like sometimes I'll run my hand along my stomach, and I'll be like, what did I just bumped into something? And then I was like, oh, that was my belly button. But I love my new belly button. Before surgery, I was a size 4, squished in, and I'm still a size 4, but I, obviously now it's not like I'm tucking skin in anywhere and having to wear a girdle, so that's been nice. And I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about surgery. Now I'm just using some oil to help sort of lessen the scar, but the scar is so low that you don't even see it when I'm wearing any one of the 4 bikinis that I bought for the summer. So, yeah, it was not that bad at all, and I had a common infection that everybody has pretty much when they have surgery of any kind like this. So, I do not know how expensive surgery is. It is, like, we do pay him, but it's provided by the show, so I don't actually know. But I always tell people, like, he's a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. So, I mean, it's not going to be free. So, but he's incredible at what he does. His staff is amazing. And, I definitely recommend both Dr. Stoker and Dr. Bottolato as people that really helped me on my journey this year. So, the other doctor that played a really big role in my life is Dr. Jill Rubin, who is technically not even a doctor, so we'll just pretend that she is in our life. And she's based out of Northampton, Massachusetts, and she was my therapist. And I have to laugh because I feel like a lot of people think that, like, I just did this year. And a couple people have commented, like, what was your catalyst for, like, loving yourself? And I was like, yeah, like, overnight I just went to bed and woke up the next day and was like, I love me. No. There was a lot of tissues, a lot of tears shed, and I'm still a gigantic work in progress. Like, anybody who watches my episode is like, that girl's got it together. Whew, the magic of editing. Like, I am a mess, I would say, 23 out of 24 hours a day. And I'm working on it, but change is a struggle. Loving yourself has always been a struggle for me. So those are things that I'm working on, but I don't have them perfect. And I never will. So that's why therapy is good for anyone, because nobody's perfect. So Jill and I have worked extensively on my issues with not wanting to feel, which is huge. And this issue that I think a lot of us have, Jackie Hare McCoy, Heidi Powell, which is that we're big people pleasers and we want to make everybody happy and we feel like we're in control of everyone else's emotion. And if we're having a bad day, then they're having a bad day, and then everybody's sad, and it's just so sad. Jill Rubin said something to me fairly early on, and she was like, so, wow, you're in control of everybody else's emotions. And I was like, well, no. And she was like, but you want to make everybody happy. And I was like, yeah. She's like, so you're God? And I was like, no, I don't think that. And she was like, but that's what you're saying. Like, you're telling me that you can make everybody happy, and that's your job. And I was like, well, it's not my job, and I can't actually make everybody happy. And so she was like, so I don't get it. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I realized for the first time in my life that I'm struggling to build my own happiness while forcing myself to take care of everyone else's happiness. And the truth is, I can't even take care of everyone else's happiness. And probably the best story I have about that was there was a mix-up in Philadelphia during finale time where we were promised a block of hotel rooms from the Four Seasons in Philly, and they did not come through. And so I had to let everyone know who had been planning on driving down from Massachusetts that they wouldn't be able to stay at the Four Seasons in Philly. So, of course, I was feeling horrible because these are people that, like, have supported me all year, had said they would be at my finale, and now I'm like, oh, they're not going to have anywhere to stay. So I wrote this big, long email that, like, said you could come over for dinner. I would cook a whole meal to apologize to everybody, and I'm so sorry this happened, and I'd take full responsibility, and it wasn't even my fault. And I typed up the invite to everybody, and then I was like, wait. If I send this email, I am trying to make everybody happy. The truth is, I can't make everybody happy. And the reality is, if you're upset about not being able to come to my finale, that's okay. Like, I'm sad. I'm upset and sad too. And, like, I know you're not sad and mad at me. You're sad at the scenario that's sort of ensued. And even if you are mad at me, like, I can't change how you're going to respond to a situation. And Jill was like, that's big growth. And I was like, I know. It feels really good to be able to say, I have to take care of myself in this scenario. And that means, like, I can tell you where there's some other hotels, but I can't book a room for you at the Four Seasons, which was not that great, just so you know. I ended up staying at the Town Place Inn and Suites over in New Jersey for the rest of my stay in Philly. Very nice. Very phenomenal staff. Phenomenal stay. So yeah, therapy is another big part. We'll talk a lot more about therapy in the blogs because I think a lot of people take for granted the work that you do on your inner core, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So stay tuned, my fellow matterers, and we'll chat next week. Hey, you matter, and you're loved.